So it is 4:15 a.m. on Saturday, January 14th, and this is like the fifth video I've had to make in the last 5 or 6 hours due to some constant malfunctions and breaches of habitability going on in my unit that are directly related to the psychotic and dysregulated behaviors of the psychopath who is currently sitting directly behind the wall of this kitchen sink with their bathroom, smoking, burning, and deliberately propagating foul-smelling substances that smell like a dumpster on fire. I suspect that she's smoking multiple forms of narcotics right now: marijuana, cigars, crack, burning rubber. It's like a mixture of all of those all together. And over the last 8 hours, she has remotely disabled 4 of my electronic devices, including my air conditioner. And the heat in this unit is at probably close to 90 degrees right now. It is insanely hot in here. It's so hot that coming in here from the hallway, because I was just in the hallway, is like walking into a wall of heat. And it's 55 degrees outside. It's practically summer outside right now. But because the psychopath who's sitting directly behind the wall of my kitchen sink likes to tamper and remotely disable or mess with electronic devices such as thermostats, air conditioners, cell phones, digital radios, etc., the heat in this unit has suddenly skyrocketed over the last 45 minutes, and I just had to call inspectional services and file an excessive heat complaint with the city because this keeps happening. Management is kind of dumb, and they don't realize that renting to a psychopath cyber criminal is going to lead to some problems with their infrastructure, with their electronically run, heating and cooling systems, water delivery systems, etc. Whatever else that they use that is digitally or electronically run, she can tamper with. And they know what she does. They've bragged to me about her wonderful capacity for hacking into anything with a chip. Those are the landlord's words, not mine. So the end result of this is that my air conditioner is not working. It's been at 60 degrees for the last 4 hours now. It was working perfectly well, probably at around 12:30 or so. And as soon as the heat in here started to increase, the air conditioner shut itself off, even though it's still set to 60 degrees. The cooling system is not kicking in. So the fan is running, but the cooling system for this air conditioner seems to have been remotely disabled, even though I've actually turned it off, unplugged it, tried to reset it, and it's still not kicking in. So it is insanely hot in here, which is what she wants. She likes to do this. She was doing this constantly last winter. The heat in here was always probably close to 90 degrees on a regular basis. And then management would, call her and tell her to turn it down, and then it would go down for a few hours, and then it would go back up. And this is what's happening now. So my air conditioner has been remotely disabled. Earlier today, she remotely disabled 2 of the radios that I have on the back of my toilet for some noise privacy. She remotely disabled both of them at the same time, even though they were both working perfectly well, and it had nothing to do with the plug or with the electrical currents, because they were still working. They just weren't emitting any kind of sound, and they weren't working when I pushed the buttons. So she had done something to tamper with those 2 radios, even though they were electronically still functioning in terms of getting a current. They were not emitting any kind of noise, which is what she wanted. So there's that. It's just insane. There have been problems with the water throughout the day as well, so there's hardly any water coming out of my tap, and when I do try to use it, it makes me sick instantly. There's obviously some kind of a saddle valve on the pipe that my sink shares with her bathroom facilities, and that's why she sits behind the wall for hours at a time, because she's literally tampering with everything she possibly can in my unit and messing with the infrastructure. So the proof of that is that right now it's close to 90 degrees in this unit, even though it's 55 degrees outside, and the heat is not on in the hallway or anywhere else. This is pretty much just in this unit. My air conditioner is not working. It's set to 60 degrees. It should be blasting freezing cold air right now, and it's not. It was blasting freezing cold air at midnight, and then as soon as I went to stand in front of it to cool down, she suddenly shut it off. It shut itself off, which, indicates some kind of remote tampering. Now it's not kicking in. The 2 radios on the back of my toilet, I had to completely unplug them and reset them, and now they're working okay, but she remotely disabled them concurrently at the same time while I was physically trying to sit on my toilet, and she remotely disabled the radios so she can eavesdrop on what I do on my toilet. She's a sick and twisted, perverted piece of low-life scum who likes to listen to what people do on their toilets, and that's why she's constantly sitting a few inches behind my own toilet and becomes agitated and aggressive whenever I try to physically use my toilet. She also broke and entered into this unit earlier today. At some point this evening, probably around 8:30, I went down the hall for about 10 minutes and left my door unlocked, but it was closed. And this is when she got in here and moved a bunch of things around in front of the door so that an item that I had left directly in front of the door was moved about 18 inches. And she had put back an item that she had taken out from this unit sometime in early December. This item was left in a very prominent location where it had not been, for weeks. It was taken out of this unit from that location probably for about 4 or 5 weeks ago and was just returned now earlier tonight. And she put it right in the middle of my cabinet where I could see it right away and know that she's been in here. So this person is a total nut job, does not belong in a commercial residential building. And the result of what her activities lead to is that nothing works properly. She keeps breaking and entering into this unit, illegally taking things out, putting them back in to play mind games, obviously. And she gets a power trip out of that. She just loves that stuff. She's been doing that for 8.5 years. This started happening 8.5 years ago when she moved in, or she was placed in here by social services. And it's been happening ever since. And she started breaking and entering just probably a few months after she moved in. And that's when I started having to put tape across the door and, block the back of my door with chairs and things like that were often moved out of the way. And I'd get home from work and things had been visibly moved around. Why the police refused to investigate this, I'm not sure, except that I'm pretty sure the psychopath next door has some drug cartel connections and the cops are probably terrified of her or something. So, that's just speculative, but she's Mexican and clearly has some drug cartel connections because she doesn't work. She sits in her bathroom for hours, but seems to have plenty of money. Either that or she steals money. Maybe she hacks into people's bank accounts and stuff like that, which she has also done to me and my family over the last few years. But right now I'm concerned about the excessive heat in this unit, the fact that my air conditioner is not kicking in, even though it was working perfectly fine 4 hours ago.